Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavati Ashtadashaadhyayini Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Rajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vitraika Panaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsasudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari Om. All right. Warm welcome to everyone who's come out for Bhagavad Gita Jnana Yajna tonight to learn about what Bhagavan Shri Krishna told Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And thank you so much for the warm welcome. We are studying the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, and it just began last night. And in Tushin, Shri Krishna was explaining to Arjuna, answering a question he had. So this final chapter begins with a question from Arjuna. He asks, yes. Shri Krishna is answering a question from Arjuna. Arjuna asks Bhagavan, can you tell me the true meaning of two words? What are those two words? Those two words are Tyaga and Sannyas. These are words you will have heard. You may not have noticed them, but they have been said before you. They have come into your mind before. For example, you will hear in your study of Bhagavad Gita, Karma Phala Tyag in Sanskrit. You will hear that word Tyag. Or so-and-so person was a great Tyagi. Right? Tyagi and the other word Sannyas. You will have heard that Sannyasi. Every person in India, most young child, illiterate person, everybody knows the meaning of Sannyasi. And so if you don't know here in Guyana, you must know. Formally, sannyas is when somebody takes up to a monastic life, you'll have to say in English, and renounces all things formally via a ritual, and therefore lives a pious life of study of scriptures and Vedanta to gain mukti. Or they have gained that state and they are given that. Ochre robes. So they wear orange if they are Swami. You're not wearing orange, you're not a Swami. Sometimes people like to call out big titles for people just to make them feel nice. You know, like if suppose someone goes to University of Guyana and then they decide to hold a little class at home teaching alphabets, you know, for the kids in the village. You'll call him professor? Because he did a undergraduate degree, he gets called professor? No, not everybody who goes to university is a professor. You have to reach a certain stage before you get that. Well, you might call him professor jokingly and all that, but you wouldn't get up on stage and here comes Professor so-and-so with an undergraduate degree. That is incorrect. So Swami and Sannyasi, traditionally I'm talking about, refers to that. Someone who's taken a physical vow of giving up all things. No bank account, no family, and Shastra has given freedom to that person. So they have no duties like normal people have to the community, to society, to family. Their mind is so pure that they can take up that life. And I was telling yesterday, Guyana has only 3 sannyasis that I know of. 3 swamis in all of Guyana. Right? So if Bhagavan is going to teach here about sannyas, that means he's only speaking to 3 people in all of Guyana and it doesn't apply to all of us. Oh, no. That word sannyas is not being used in that meaning. Bhagavan is teaching you sannyas. He's teaching me sannyas. Sannyas also means, if you check the dictionary, the same thing as tyag. If you check the dictionary in English, it will say renunciation. But that doesn't help me. I don't know the meaning of that also. It's a big word, use that in normal school. Give me some of that renunciation there. Nobody says. What a pound for renunciation? Nobody says. It doesn't come in normal language. What does it mean to renounce? So these 2 words have come in Bhagavad Gita at very critical moments. Tyag and sannyas. At the pitch when Bhagavan is speaking about the highest knowledge, he's used these words. So Arjuna is asking you, please give me some clarity about these words. And they both are synonyms in ordinary language. They both mean, renunciation means giving up, letting go, abandoning, forgetting about, like that. So any sort of giving up, letting go, abandoning, you would give the Sanskrit word tyag for that, or sannyas. So Arjuna wants to know. He knows this is important, and he wants to get to the root of it. And I'll tell you right now up front what the answer to that question is. And I was mentioning last time, please keep this in mind as you study the whole chapter. Bhagavan just uses this one question about the meaning of 2 words to explain the whole Bhagavad Gita. So he uses the question as a seed and he launches into a summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Meaning to say, all of spirituality can be viewed from the lens of giving up. You could look at it like that. I didn't tell this last night, so I'll tell you now. Like, all up and down the coast, there's rice field, right? And even more so when you go to Essequibo, rice upon rice. So, you could call that rice field and you would be accurate. That's one name for that. But there are other names for that, You could teach me some of those names. But in economics, they'll say, well, this coast and Essequibo coast is the breadbasket of Guyana. Does a breadbasket or a rice field? You tell me now. What they mean to say is, this is the source of food and wealth for the nation. They're referring to the same thing and they're both good names, aren't they? But it gives you a different view of it. Then the man who has the field, he said, this is not a rice field and this is not a breadbasket. This is a field of dreams. This is not a rice field, a field of dreams. Means to say, I'm working here, but out of this land and its productivity, my dreams in life will be fulfilled. This is my field of dreams. So that's also a correct translation or not for that word? Correct meaning? Yeah. So every time you give a new name to something, you get a different view of what it is. Correct or not? Well, this happens all throughout Sanskrit. Bhagavan has 1,008 names. I don't know, something is... 1,008 names he has. Each name giving a different view, an understanding of what he can do, or where he is, or what he should be remembered for, like that. So, all of spirituality now viewed from the point of letting go. That's what's going on here. So, in short now, Tyag is the little letting goes that we do along the way to reach the final state of freedom called mukti, in other words, called sannyas. What is that again? Tyag is spiritual practice, and sannyas is the spiritual goal. That's all. Goal and practice, these two things. There's nothing else in spirituality. Practices and the goal. Just like I was telling last night, the Berbice Bridge is the means to get to, the Demerara Bridge is the means to get to Demerara. Correct? So you have to take that, do that, cross that, then you reach here. Like that. So, okay. With this much introduction now, I should tell you also what Bhagavan said about Tyag. First he gave the opinion of so many other scholars. Then he said, let me tell you the supreme verdict on this thing. My firm opinion on what is Tyag. People oversimplify letting go. And you know this. Not all giving up and letting go is the same. Somebody says, Dad, I want to give up school. But that is not a noble giving up. Somebody else says, I want to give up dinner. I'm fasting every night. Why? Because I put on too many pounds. Right? One man met another man at Mandir. And he said, boy, what? They're making kurta with bump now or what? You mean you buy it with that bump or what? Means last time I saw you didn't have that. So I eaten too much prasad, so I given up dinner, somebody said. So that's another way of giving up. But fasting to lose weight. And then somebody else said, I given up dinner so I can get up early and meditate. There's another quality. So all giving up, but would you equate them? They're same. Giving up school, giving up to lose weight, giving up to meditate. They're not same. There are different qualities of giving up and different purposes and different things behind the mind. So Bhagavan says, if I'm going to teach you about spirituality through the lens of letting go, first let me tell you, Arjuna, all letting go is not equal. And if you give up certain things, running away from life, for instance, i.e. running away from this battle, which in half an hour this Gita is going to finish, and you're going to have to pick up that bow. If you want to still run away, that running away, nobody's going to call you a great Tyagi, Arjuna. So there are three kinds. Let me classify these into three kinds, Krishna says. Those three we have to see today, and more. Also, let me tell you, when you're letting go of anything in this world, the purpose will be to hold on to something else. Somebody asked Swami Chinmayanandaji. He gave his first set of talks in 1951. And it was 108 days. He started with just a few people. Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji. In fact, the Swami himself got on a bicycle and rode through the village. Right? And he was announcing, there's a Swami and he's giving talks in English on Bhagavad Gita. First time they're hearing talks in English. And everybody's invited. Men, women, everybody. So he went around announcing his own talks like that. Then when he got there, they came to the front and he gave the talk. And there were only 5 people at that first talk. And Swami Tapovanji Maharaj, his guru, gave the requirement that when you give your first talk, if you don't get 5 people, you come back to the Himalayas and leave all that. But when he looked out, he saw only 4 people. Now, you can't go against the words of the Guru. He said, but Gurudev, counted and he said, no, there's 5 people here because the speaker is also listening. So there's 5. So I get to teach. And like that, this thing began. Yeah. Right. So the idea is that it is not just about these different types of tyag. There's one more thing you have to know. So after that 108 days, somebody came now and asked Gurudev, as he's leaving the yajna. So imagine Swamiji gives 108 days yajna. And the person comes to Georgetown on the last day. They missed the last lecture also. Like that. And they come and say, okay, can you quickly summarize the thing for me? I just came. I just found out about it. So Gurudev turned to him and said, I can summarize in one sentence, no problem. Detach and attach. Oh, now the person has the next problem. Because he did summarize, but what did it mean? It means you have to let go of one thing so you can hold on to something else. Just like when you climb a ladder, you have to let go of the bottom rung in order to climb up to the next rung. Isn't it? In spirituality, a tyagi, somebody who's giving up, is giving up something lower for something higher. So Bhagavan says, in life, each person has duty. And that duty requires a person to do 3 things. Yajna, dana, tapas. Which in very poor man's English is worship, giving, and discipline. These are the basic fundamental religious disciplines that every Hindu has to hold on to. What is that? Worship, yajna, like we do yajna here. Giving and discipline, like that. And I was telling, and so you hold on to that and your duty in life, and you give up things that come in the way, like likes and dislikes and attachments. That person who practices like that, he's almost a tyagi. He's not a tyagi yet. If he does that with an attitude of not wanting anything out of this whole exercise. I don't want to be called a tyagi. I don't want to become rich. I don't want to upgrade my family's house. That's not my reasoning. If he also has detachment, Arjuna, he is a tyagi. You caught all that? You're giving up lower things for higher. You're holding on to your duties in life, which include yajna, dana, and tapas. And you don't have any personal selfish desire and all that. If you hold this whole kind of psyche in your mind and do your work, well, you will surely reach mukti. You're on the bridge. You're on the bridge. A little further again and you reach sannyas. Like that. So, this is what he told Arjuna. Now, in all of this, I want to tell you about the holding part a little bit. The holding on part. And in Sanatana Dharma, we hold fast to duty. It is part of the ethos of what it is to be a Hindu. I am born in this world and I have a duty. And if I don't do it, well, I am unfulfilled as a human being. Like Pandit Vinodji was telling me, he was confirming for me a story I heard first account from my grandmother. That she and her friends, when they were like your age, the age of the aunties here, where they held arms like this, they're from Anakatrana. And they said, well, we need a temple in this village. So they feel like they need to do something for the community. Not because they're going to get paid. You have to think, what is driving them? This is what I'm saying is part of the Hindu ethos. I have to do this. Now, if you go back to the 50s, right? Nobody's rich in Guyana, here in the West Coast. You would be, by definition, poor, right? So these people who are by definition, World Bank definition, poor, they are made up their mind that we are going to give something. We're going to do dan. And we don't have in our pocket. But they walked from, was it canal number 2 you said? They walked from canal number 2 in those days to Anakatrana and past, going house to house to raise funds to build a temple. Today, if you ask your child, go walk now down the street and ask for donations, that would be like, what? In the hot sun? The punishment. But they chose to do this. Then they didn't get time off work to do that. It means it's in my heart. I'm born in this, I have to give dan to the community. And that's why today you see in the villages in India, and I suspect in the villages here in Guyana, the villages give more in dan than in the city. Dan is part of life. It doesn't matter how much you have. If I don't give, my life is not fulfilled. Like I came and I stole from this world and I left. Like that kind of attitude, dan. Part of the ethos. And the purpose is to build a temple for who? The community. That temple is still standing. And 3 generations later, they're still worshiping. Because of the work of, and you don't know who those aunties are. They've all gone, many have passed away. Like that. So what I'm saying is that these 3 words, yajna, dana, and tapas. And so I told about yajna. They're building something for the community. So that's a worship of the community. It's also a worship of the Lord because it's a temple for the Lord they're building. Dan is involved because they're collecting money to give. And tapas, discipline is involved to walk in that hot sun and all that. So they did these 3 things out of a feeling that that is what it is to be Hindu, and look where we have the mandir now. You wouldn't have it if they didn't do that. What would you have in Anakatrana then? Nothing. It took the heart to make up, this is what it is to be human being. Yajna, dan, tapas. So Bhagavan says, this is kartavyam. This is what every human being ought to do in their own way. Right? Oh, okay. Thank you, Bhagavan. But not only that, do you know, in scriptures, your daily duty, and everybody has one, that also is seen as an expression of the same yajna, dana, and tapas. Just by a student studying, just by a grahastha raising their family, just by a vanaprastha letting things go and serving the community, just by a sannyasi being a sannyasi, sticking steadfast to your work, you wouldn't believe the contribution you make. See, let me tell you a real story. Well, it's a half-real story. One lady who was a teacher in Guyana moved abroad. After serving the community for 30 years, she moved abroad and retired. Then after some more years passed, she came back. And she was told, it's good you came back. All the children you taught, they're now old now, and they have doing their jobs in the village and all that. You get to meet them. So she came back. And she was looking forward to meeting the various students. So, on her first day back, she gets stopped by a police officer. And, ma'am, first thing he says, left or right? You know left or right? Means you're going to leave something with me here, or you want me to write? Left or right? Well, she looks at her, Raju, is that you? So, oh, miss, that's you? He said, yeah. Oh, nice to see you. You went abroad, right? Yeah, leave something now. He still asked. So she was upset. She said, no, give me the ticket. And so on her way home now, she's thinking how Raju slipped into that kind of thing and all that. So then she was going out to the shop. Right? So she's going out to the shop to buy coconut oil. When she gets there, it's all old oil there. It all expired like. So she go to the shop owner and says, I want fresh one. So then the lady behind the counter said, well, no, we don't have fresh one. But if you come home by me, I have fresh one. Meaning to say, that's a precious thing, and she keeping the stock at home, and she collecting the money at home, and she's selling it for a higher price. And then she looked closer and she said, Mala, is that you? And Mala said, yeah, oh, miss, that's you. Yeah. Oh, come home. I'll save a bottle for you at full price. So she can't buy coconut oil also. So she forget that. She get home now and she's hosting a party, right? When she get home, she came home, she cleaned up the house, she put everything in the bin full, right? The garbage truck passed and only take one bag out of the bin. And so she's seen the truck going down the line and they'd only taken one, not taking the whole bin and putting it in a truck. One they'd taken out and putting so. Oh, she get really upset. So she gone and she's firing at those garbage men and said, hey, listen, if you take it up with our boss, here is his number. So she goes to the address and she looks, is a Ministry of Garbage Disposal. There's a private, so she goes in there now and she goes to meet the minister. I don't have any minister in mind, this is a story, right? Minister of Garbage Disposal. And then she sees, that's valedictorian sitting behind the desk. And said, how come your garbage men and all that are not picking up garbage? And then when I asked them for a card, they gave me a card for a private company to go and call the private company now and clear the garbage. And then when who named right on the company? You. So you's the minister, and you're running the private company also, picking up garbage. How is that? Well, he was valedictorian, so he could answer she back. He said, no, miss, I learned this from you. How you mean? I'm in a privileged position to do my duty, and as a result, you get your rights of having garbage removed. That's your right, and that's my duty, correct? She said, yes. Well, when I was a student, and the roles were reversed, and it was your duty to finish the curriculum, you didn't finish. And for 13 years, I had to come by your home. So I learned to read, and I learned to write, and I also learned how to take advantage from you. So I did that for 13 years. What do you think I'll learn? Well, she was flabbergasted now. She didn't know what to say. So she said she's going home. She'd go home to sleep because she can't handle this. Then he asked, by the way, did you park right here in the main parking? She said, yeah. Well, the price is $10,000 for this parking right in front here. But if you give me $5,000 now, I'll call down and tell him to let you go. So she gave the $5,000, defeated, she gave the $5,000, she'd gone downstairs. Then she tell the man, why don't you put up a signboard and say $10,000 so people know the price? She said, don't tell me, tell the man, he owned the printery also, the man who owned the garbage disposal. So he, don't put up a sign. You see what I mean to say? Now, I want you to analyze a little bit more about that teacher's dilemma. Suppose school is 6 hours a day. Suppose. Right? 6 hours of instruction is required a day. And in that 6 hours, the teacher only teaches 5. And she leaves 1 hour to come home and I'll teach you at home. Right? So 1 hour is stolen from the child at school. And then 1 hour is stolen from the child after school. 2 hours. Right? But in a 6 hour day, the teacher takes 2 hours from the child. And what's 2 over 6? 1/3. Correct? And so the teacher does that over a 30-year career. Right? 1/3 of the time over a 30-year career is stolen. Of the 6 hours. That means of 30 years, she stole 10. She got paid for 10 years and she didn't do that work properly. She owes the universe 10 years. Because she took that. Oh, interesting. Now, that's one child. And she has a class of 30 children. So 10 years times 30 is what? That teacher has to pay back the universe 300 years of working days. How is she going to pay that back?
That is exactly why there are people born in different places where they spend their whole life working with no pay. Young, born into slavery, children are. And what kind of karma you would have done to do that? But you spend you take 300 years of pay and time from society, and you don't think you have to pay it back? So in Hinduism, if we have a duty to be done, we take that thing seriously. Duty means every other person in this universe is doing their job. Clearing the garbage, keeping the road clean, so I have my job to do. And I cannot shortchange the universe an iota. I'll have to pay it later. Duty is sacred. Because I do my duty, you get your privilege. Because you do your duty, I get my privilege. And there's a nice motto we have in Chinmaya Mission. We don't just try and do our duty, we do try and produce more than we consume and give more than we take. Like that. This is a Hindu motto. Now, that poor teacher, she didn't know all this. She didn't come satsang. She was teaching tuitions at satsang time. So she didn't know. So that's why we tell. I have nothing out for the teacher doing what everybody else is doing. But just because everybody else is doing doesn't mean it's correct. We should try and save each other from owing a debt to this universe. Correct or not? You want to see that for any teacher? No? And civil service? Well, that's worse now. You see? In Hinduism, we take... So if now you have a duty as a student to come home and study that text in front of you. Not open your phone, not watch TV, not cheat. Because the rest of society is working hard to set up a job for you later on. But if you cheat that work, then you cheat out somebody of having some knowledge to help the world. You get it? Everybody has to stick to their duty well. And if you do that selflessly, well, man, you get mukti. This is the idea. And if you do it selfishly, well, then you get mediocre results. And if you shortchange the world, well, then you have to pay that back. You can't steal from this universe. In fact, when Bhagavan talks about this, he calls it as a chakram pravartitam. That there's a big, what you call, universe of communal giving going on. Everybody helping everybody else. And if you take and don't give back, stena su uchyate. I didn't say so. Lord Krishna said that person is a thief in this universe. So we take duty as an expression of fairness, as an expression of love, as an expression of gratitude to the universe for what I get. The other day I was on the boat from the Stelling in Parika to go Essequibo. And a lady, we were all lined up, and I was happy, you get to go at the back. And everybody else who was there with me, happy. Then a lady comes holding a little baby. She has to hold the neck too. The baby was that young, right? Now, what is the job of those sitting at the back when a mother and child enter the boat? At the front of the boat is garam, garam, daram, daram. And as the back of the boat is better. So what's the job? You have to get up from the back seat and offer it to the lady, isn't it? With the baby. That, by virtue of your status as the first one there and your position in the back of the boat, you have a duty to offer it to the lady. By virtue of your status and your position. If you're at the front of the boat, well, you don't have as much of a duty. Correct? So we all find ourselves in a... And so thankfully somebody got up and said, well, come, miss, you sit here. The idea is, because everybody else in the world is doing their duty, I have to do mine. Means the boatman is going to drive properly. And the man who made the boat, he didn't make it with leaks. And everybody did their job. So now I'm in a unique position to help somebody else. I have to. More so than anybody else because I sit in that spot. And should I get a reward? No, that's called duty. Duty does not deserve. Does the teacher deserve any reward for finishing the curriculum? That's called duty. I was with Gina ji in India, and one of her cousins is studying to be a doctor. And she couldn't go to the family wedding. And so she told the family, look, I'm doing practicals right now. I'm in my second year of practicals. And I have a duty to the hospital, I can't come. And just by using the word, it's my duty. Do you know the elders in the family said, oh, okay, we understand. You see? Imagine a sister can't come to a wedding. I say, but I have a duty here to some job I've taken up. And duty is duty. And it comes first. This is the Hindu ideal. And that is what has held Hindus together. We spent a long time on this concept of duty, but it is essential to Bhagavad Gita. Huh? Okay. Now, having told Arjuna, you hold steadfast to your duty and give up things that are in the way. Then, now Bhagavan is going to explain about giving up a little bit. So let us see that from verse 7. That's where we left it last night. So I'll chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, and you chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Then I'll chant the verse, and then you chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Tu sannyasah karmano nopapadyate. Mohatasya parityagah tamasa parikirtitah. Rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhe. Aryam mityeva yat karma niyatam kriyat. Phalam jaiva satyaga satviko matata. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Krishna Kanhaiya Lal Ki Jai. So Bhagavan now tells in the order like this: Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic. The different types of giving up we can do. What we all do in life. And we have all done all three types. But we may not have noticed, oh, this is of this quality, this is of that quality. Now that you know, you can always try and say, okay, I should not give up at this time. I should give up for that reason. We get clarity now. So Bhagavan says, first of all, Niyata karma means what we call as duty. Sannyasa na upapadyate. It is not proper. It is not correct. It is not right to give up your duty. And we just talked about that, right? For anybody. But that person, mohat parityagaha tamasa parikirtitaha. That person who gives up as a result of moha, as a big word in Sanskrit, as a result of, he gives up his duty because maybe he got infatuated with something. Man, I got so absorbed in this TV show, I forgot it's time to go work. I got infatuated with something. Or I got attached to something, right? It's my job to make sure I collect, I'm the bank manager, collect funds from everybody. But you is my best partner. I can't collect from you. So because of attachment now, I can't do my duty. Or confusion. I'm confused whether or not I should get up and go to work today because I heard nobody's going to work today. I hear nobody goes to work when it rains. But the boss never said don't go. I confused now. And the bed calling me extra. So for that reason you give up, right? Or delusion or lack of understanding of what is right and wrong. If this type of giving up is there, born of attachment, delusion, confusion, that is called tamasic. Low, below what a human being should be capable of. A human being should be able to look at a situation, it should not be given up yet. Not for this reason, like that. So that is considered dull, ignoble, tamasic, like that, right? Oh, okay. Now, suppose somebody says to you, I gave up exercise today because I just last night ate so much junk food. I ate so much junk food, I said, I can't exercise. That makes sense? That's good logic? You're the one who needs the exercise. Because you ate the junk food, you should exercise today. I gave up doing japa. Because every time I sit for japa, my mind has wandered too bad. So I give up the japa. You should have given up the wandering mind and kept the japa. Correct or not? But people think like this or not? Yeah. I gave up school because I'm too stupid. I don't understand what the teacher's saying at all. So I stopped go. You're the one who should go. What do you mean you stop go? But so that's all dropping things for the wrong reason. I'm too poor, so I stopped working hard. What? Yeah, man, I'm poor like anything, so I don't want to go work. Well, how you come out of poverty then? Well, it's sounding silly, but I have heard I ate non-veg today, so I not coming Monday. You hear that you ever hear that? How far is that from, well, I don't understand what the teacher saying, so I not go in school? You've seen a similarity between those two? You are the one who should come. You're not the one who should skip. So to not come Monday because you feel, oh, well, I feel shame. People say, I feel shame. That's like saying, I feel shame that I eat junk food, so I can't go exercise. Let me see. If you scratch and look at that a little bit deeper, right? You should just ask that person, wait. You want to come Monday or you don't want to come Monday? Don't tell me, oh, I ate non-veg. You want to come or you don't want to come? Just say that first. I want to come, but I feel in shame. If you want to come, that shows the mind has purity. Right? You want to come closer to Bhagavan. So you're fit to come. Nobody's asking you to come up and do the puja. Come and listen. You're fit. You want to come. That shows purity. And, oh, no. I don't want to come. Well, for him also, if you don't want to come, then you're the one who needs to come. But he won't come anyways if he don't want to come. But see, without proper thinking, we give up the good thing. So if you don't come to satsang, there's nothing in Hinduism that says, oh, is Hinduism only for vegetarians? It says anywhere that? Come to satsang. Come like this. Oh Bhagavan. And all should, oh Bhagavan, look, I do feel shame for this habit, that habit, right? But when I come, I'm coming with an open mind. If you, in the bhajan, or in the satsang, or in the worship, if you can transform this heart of mine, I'm ready to give up all my bad habits for you. I come in open. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, I'll drop it. That's how you should come. This is a place of transformation. How people come? They come like this. I'm coming, but don't ask me to give up anything. Don't ask me to change any habit. And don't say anything I disagree with. So you come with closed mind. Transformation not possible. You have to come with open mind. The man who has all the bad habits, if he comes with an open mind, he will transform way faster than the one who comes every day with a closed mind. So come and transform. It is here for that. It's not here for, mandir is not for the perfect people. If you're perfect and you're perfected your heart, you don't need to come mandir. Mandir is for the imperfect, correct or not? School is for the educated or the uneducated? Exercise is for the health, well, maybe not. The gym is for the healthy or the unhealthy? So be clear about things like that. But some people give up for the wrong reason. So at first we think, who will give? But we realize we do that also. Then there are others who we just chanted who give up for rajasic reasons. What is that? They fear that this thing is going to give me sorrow. This thing is going to... See, we were just talking with Panditji on the way here. Well, what is it? I have sweet skin. This thing hard, man. I can't do it. I'm a delicate darling. I like a hibiscus. Don't ask me to get up too early, I go wither away and die. A soft. So people who give up for that reason, because what you're asking of me is too hard. They go hurt my skin, take cold water in the morning so early, wait till lunchtime, the water will be warm and nice. Then I go bathe. The skin's soft. A gentle, Don't talk hard to me. If you give up like that, then that is rajasic. Means you're so attached and concerned about discomfort to the body, you give up something good. And that does happen all the time. Right? Then, after that, now see, this has a serious side also. My family responsibilities just got very overwhelming. A young man thinks, and now I have a wife, now I have a house and bills to pay, now I have children also. This thing's stressful like anything. I just want to go and sport, and I can't do that. This thing overwhelming me. And he dropped family and gone. This is the same thing. Life hard, so I give it up. So Bhagavan says for that person, what happens to him? He will not get the result, the joy that's supposed to come from giving up. Giving up, tyagat shanti anantaram. From dropping something, the result should be you feel lighter. You feel more happy. You feel more free. When you drop properly, that's how it should be. But someone who runs away, like Vibhishana ran. Sugriv, sorry. Sugriv running from Bali his whole life. Running. Did he find relief? So when you run away from situations, the situation becomes twice as big and you become twice as weak. That's why at the end there, he had to fight Bali twice. because he ran from it the first time. Like that. So you don't get any joy by running. You, what do I say? Jump from the pan into the fire. So what you have to tell your heart when it says, no, the water too cold, the morning too early, the stress is too much, you have to say, grab the bull by the horns. Plant yourself straight and say, okay, come now. What is the situation? It can't be that bad. Face this thing. I'm a Hindu. I'm like Arjuna. I'm on this path. If I turn my back and dust it, then that problem will grow 2 times. I don't want that. But many people do that. And they don't get moksha, and they don't get spiritual growth, and they don't get any great thing. But now, what is sattvic tyag? Now, we saw that already, right? Karyam ityeva yat karma niyatam kriyate Arjuna. But that person, O Arjuna, which does something, does his duty thinking it's my job to do this, like we were talking about. And sangam tyaktva. Dropping, what does he drop now? Of all things, he drops sangam, attachment. Right? To what? To the results. That is called sattvic. Now, this has been going on in Bhagavad Gita from the beginning. And there are many ways to talk about dropping attachment. But from whatever level you see, it is helpful. Suppose you don't drop attachment. Suppose you have no thought yet in your mind about doing anything selfless for anybody. Even if you just have your own desires and your own wishes for yourself, and that's why you go out and work every day, still you will find great satisfaction in dropping attachment. It just looks like this. Dropping insistence that I get the result of this work in the way that I wish. Means I go to work every day, I work in for my salary, and with my salary I want to go home and upgrade my house. Simple, ordinary life, right? But Bhagavan, I'm not going to demand and insist of you that that thing turns out exactly the way I want. I know I did the work, so I must get the result. There's a rule. If you do the karma, you will get the result. So I go in and I'm doing the karma. Now you bring the result in the best way you see fit. I'm going to get it. It's going to be for me. But I'm not going to stress over how it comes, when it comes, and which way. Is the fence going to be white or green or yellow or what? I'm going to get a nice fence around my yard. I'm going to come. Everything's going to come in its own time. So all I drop is insistence. When, how. So that's also called detachment. Dropping insistence that it should be this way. Because I did the work. You're going to get it. The law is like that. Wait, now let Bhagavan fix it the way he wants and send it to you. Right? Okay, so that's one level. Another level now, which is known by all professional sportsmen. And what are we talking about? Levels of dropping attachment. Every professional sportsman, every amateur cricket player, every boy on every school play yard knows this rule. If I think about whether or not I'm going to get out, whether or not I'm going to make this runs or not, I go get out for sure. You know that rule? That's why so many more people make 99 runs and not a century. Because for some reason that last ball is the hardest ball to hit. It's hard because am I going to make this century or not? You just have to look to our own Guyana-bred Shivnarayan Chandrapal for inspiration. He has the world record, 13 hours test match batting. I can't watch cricket for 13 hours, let alone play for 13 hours. Can you imagine? To do that at a professional level, think every ball they reset the field. They're constantly changing the bowler. The people are shouting all kind of things at you from the side. The turf is changing, the ball is changing, you're getting hungry, tired, and you put it all out of your mind, no concern about what the result will be. I'm going to face this situation in serenity and peace and full attention. Now, when you drop your concerns and put your mind where your hands are, your performance goes up. It goes up or not? You can't get out. And then, of course, the results come. But if he thought, is it 12 hours? Did I get the world record? How many more minutes till I get? If he thought like that, he sure wouldn't have made it. Correct or not? So don't let the mind waver to the results of action. Keep it right here. And if he's from Guyana and he has the world record, so there's something in Guyanese water, you should be able to do it too. Something in Guyanese food, something in Guyanese heritage. To bring the mind right where the hands are. Like that. So that's also called detachment from results. To keep my mind here. And when you do that, your action will be better and the results will be better. So just by not thinking of the result doesn't mean you don't get. He didn't think of the result for 13 hours and he got the best result. You see that? Forget about it, like it doesn't matter. And just do the thing. You aim the arrow and you don't even look to see if it reached the target. You write the test, don't even tell me the marks. I know what I got. I'm not looking to see anything. I'm just looking at what I'm doing right here. You should try that. I write an exam, I don't want to hear what I got. I know I studied every day. I know this is the best I could do. If Bhagavan wants to take a few marks, let him take a few marks. I did the work. Those marks will come back another day. I'll not study and I'll get extra marks. That happens, no? You go into the test unprepared and you get the best marks all of a sudden. It happened or not? It happened. Or you get great. So I'll do the work. I don't want to hear about the rest of it. That is the universe's problem, how it wants to give me the result. Then you're living like Shiv Narayan during his cricket match, like that. So that's another meaning of detachment. Then there's a deeper meaning also. What is that? That deeper meaning is that basically Bhagavan, this is how you can understand, I think. You know when a mother and father have game night? You sit around, you play some game as a family. It could be outdoor game or a board game, or something, but you play some game. You do that sometimes? If you don't, you should. It's great fun. You bring everybody together and you play some game together, right? Well, you can imagine if you haven't done that, that mom and dad, you think they're playing that game to win? To beat the child? To win at dominoes, they're playing to win? No. They know that just by playing, the whole family is getting good memories. This is called family time. So we win, period. Just by me playing the game well. So they have two scorecards. Scorecard number 1, okay, the board game. Scorecard number 2, family joy, family togetherness. They have another scorecard on the side, correct? Even if they lose here, in scorecard number 1, they still win here. In fact, better they lose also. The children don't know this. The children playing to beat dad. Beat mom. That's all they want. But the parents know. They're playing a different game like that. So another form of tyag is that I go out in this world and I have my job, I have my duty, I'm making money here, I do in this competition there. That is like the game. But I measure whether or not I made a contribution to the community, made a contribution to Bhagavan, the whole. That's my scorecard. So when I go home at night, I think, as a result of my work today, did I fulfill my duty to this world or not? If I did, it really doesn't matter what the scorecard is outside. And I was telling last night, a good example of that is the nurse in the hospital. She can't control whether the patient lives or dies. That's in the hands of the doctor. That's in the hands of nature. That's in the hands of karma. But she still goes in every day and she serves the sickly one, knowing this one is going to leave the hospital and this one out the front door and this one going to leave the hospital another way also. Right? But she doesn't mind. She treats everybody happily. So based on whether she wins or loses as a caretaker, that doesn't affect her. And then they might say, oh, you know what, there's new management. You've been serving in the hospital for 22 years, but we're not putting you as head nurse. We're putting you at the front desk. So she just got dropped down in the game. You think she minds? But if all she had in life was her title at the hospital, well, that she broken now. But she has another scorecard. She's thinking, can I fulfill my duty as a caretaker there at the desk? If I can, I'm good to go. If I can't, let me find a way. Just like the parent, is this still contributing to family love or not? Or is this causing family war? If it's family love, yeah, bump me off the square. You getting the idea? So my worship of Bhagavan is what I care about, and let me go and play this game of life now. That person way on the path in spirituality. That's called karma phala tyag. It's not that he's not in life. It's not that the mom and dad aren't playing the game. They're playing. They're playing to win also. But win or lose, they win. Because they get to worship the family like that. Okay, so this is all karma phala tyag. Beautiful thing. Where are you going to hear this philosophy of life? Where? Only in Bhagavad Gita. Right. So like this, Bhagavan lists 3 types of tyag. Then he adds something now. What he says? Let us chant from verse 10. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everyone. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Na dveshyat kushalam karma kushalam nanushajyate Yagi sattva samavishtaha medhavi chinna samshayah Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Nahi deha bhrita shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshataha Yastu karma phala tyagi satyagitya vidhiyate Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Anishtamishtamishram Trividham karmana phalam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Bhavatyaginam predya nattu sanyasinam kvachita Krishna Lal ki jai. Okay. So Bhagavan now adds a few strokes of description for this tyagi, so we can understand a little bit. And what he tells is how. See, you might say, oh, that is hard. Well, look where I am, and look where you're describing I should be. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna's teaching in this Bhagavad Gita is so inspiring. So what he gives here is an upward spiral. You've heard of downward spiral? You know what is downward spiral? You've heard? Downward spiral is like when the young toddler skips his nap. When he skips his nap, what happens after that? Mom will tell you, well, now he's grumpy. Right? So now when it's time to feed, he don't want to eat. Why? Because he's sleepy. So he don't want to eat now. So he make a big mess of everything. Then after not eating and making a mess and having a struggle, now he's hungry and tired. But he won't sleep. So then she puts him down to rest, and what does he do? He don't play with his toys. He throws his toys and he bangs them and all that kind of thing. All this is caused because he skipped his nap. Then he didn't eat. Now he's making a mess of the toys. Now mom fed up. She fed up, so she raised her voice on the boy. Now the poor boy, hungry, tired, mom yelling at me. He doesn't know what to do. That thing ends only he goes to her and he puts his head in her lap and he falls asleep and he reset. Right? He has to go get his nap. That's called a downward spiral. You skip. I said for a toddler, but big people are just the same way. They skip the nap and they fight at home and the next thing happens. Everything only settles when they go to sleep and reset the next day. So now you know it's downward spiral. Once you skip that, it's just downhill from here. Well, there's such a thing as upward spiral also. Once you do this thing, well, it's only up and up and up. The force just takes you up and up. Did you know there's an upward spiral also? It all begins with giving up likes and dislikes in favor of doing your job. Right? I really like to watch this show, but I can't finish it. I have my job to do. I'll come back after. That little giving up, like that. What happens to that person? Well, Bhagavan says, once they get to like this, nadveshti akushalam karma, kushalam karma nanushajyate. When they're the kind of person who doesn't hate an ugly job, and they're not attached to a good job. People see, I like my work, but don't tell me to do it for that person. I don't want to do my job if I have to do it with this person or for this person. I mean, that part is ugly. Or some bosses say, I like to hire, but I don't like to fire, Let someone else fire. You're the boss, you have to fire also. Some presidents say, president of the temple say, I like being president, just call me up, give me mala, just give me the job to MC, but I also have to be the last one to lock up. I don't like that part. Can someone else lock? Well, you is the head. If you get this, it all comes together. So this type of person now, because it is duty, and because he's been living this life slowly giving up, he's reached a stage where there's no such thing as good duty and bad duty. All of it is just job. I don't look at it like that. Good job, bad job. It is duty, and it's all equally great. He reached that stage. And you know who's the best example of that? Let me tell you. Just imagine for a moment. All the children here, you imagine. Your parents tell you, this holiday, surprise, I'm taking you to Disneyland. And we're going tomorrow to Florida. Pack your bags. I'll meet you first thing in the morning. We head into Mary. Surprise. So now you can't sleep that night. You're dreaming what it'll be like and all that kind of thing. Right? Well, when you wake up in the morning and you come downstairs, what you find? You find Dad is gone to Timeri, like he said. But the other ticket went to a distant cousin of yours. And the two of them gone. And you left home. And you left home with who? That distant cousin, she's there at the house. And she's just getting off the phone with the school. And she somehow, while you were sleeping, she spoke to your father and explained to him that her son doesn't ever get a chance like this. And yours might get a chance one day again. So send my son now with you. And she talk and convince he. Then she come home and she talked to mom. And she convinced mom that this boy will do nothing if he's at home. So he better go to school and spend the whole week at school doing extra lessons. So your dad and the cousin brother gone to New York for 14 days. And you got to go to school for 14 days. How will you react? Will the house still be standing? Well, this is not that far off. You might be knowing this. Prasannatam ya nabikat nagabtabhishekataha tatha namamlau vanavasa dukkhataha mukhambuja shri raghunandanasya me sadastu samanjula mangala prada. You see the murti of Sri Ram, and he has that prasannata, he has that smiling face. And the shloka is pronounced to his smile, to his prasannata. That Sri Ram, whose smile didn't get bigger when he was told he was going to get coronated, and it didn't weaken when he was told he's going to go not for 14 days, but 14 years to the forest. He laughed in his mind when he was told that. That prasannata and peace of mind, I bow down to that. May it be a source of manjula and mangala for me, cheerfulness and auspiciousness for me. Means Bhagavan Sri Ram would then, imagine, the story goes on now. Imagine now you have to call your nani and tell her what happened. And you say like, what would you would say? Or your Aji, better yet, because it's dad who went. You call Aji, you try and use Aji to get dad to come back and get you what. You might do that. But what did Ram do when he went to tell his mom? Oh, you know what? Kausalya Mata, she gave me the kingdom of the forest. That's like equivalent to saying, this distant auntie of mine, she gave me the playland of knowledge. So you just don't hurt the feelings of your mother. That is your Sri Ram. Means to say this exact thing. When the duty is joyous, he doesn't get overjoyed. Oh, I'm going to be king now, and king duty is so fun, and they'll go fan me and give me grapes and or whatever. And when the duty becomes hard, he did not lose his smile. He thought, the question is, by going to the forest, will I be able to do my duty as a son or not? Will I do? And he said, yeah, I will. And I'll get to meet so many bhaktas, and I'll get to meet so many rishis. Well, this is great. His mind stuck, will I be able to execute my duty in this world or not? And he laughed out when he was told he was going to be exiled. So when you see the smile of Sri Ram, which is the same smile as Sri Krishna, this is the idea. I don't cry when the duty, if Bhagavan can get up and go forest and smile, I can get up in the morning and go to my job and do my work, and I can open my book. And if you can't, you just look at his smile and say, well, you did it. I can do it too. And every time I do it, I'm doing your work the way you would have done it. I uphold in dharma just like you. I keep in my mind calm and doing my. That is the lesson in that thing. What happens to that person who lives like that? Sattva samavishtaha. Bhagavan says his sattva increases. Means his mind becomes more capable of being awake and alert and alive and intelligent. And when the mind is like that, what happens? Medhavi. This is an upward spiral, you see? So just by doing that, the mind becomes more alive and alert and awake. Then from that, it becomes medhavi, capable. Gurudev puts it like this. When the mind is sattvic, calm and still, it is able to reflect the reality. It is able to reflect higher knowledge. And you rediscover things. They took this exact idea and they put it in Kung Fu Panda. In Kung Fu Panda, when he's teaching him how to go and get the highest scroll of self-knowledge. The scroll had nothing on it but self-knowledge. You look at it and you see self. First he tells them, no, your mind has to be calm like this water. When you look at that, then you will see the solution. And the solution is the scroll, which is that knowledge that comes from above. And they took this thing straight from Bhagavad Gita. But when they put it in a cartoon, we say, wow, man, you guys are smart. But it's this only. So it's an upward spiral. That's what happens to this person, O Arjuna. So you try now. That's the idea. Then you might say, okay, so what if I don't do it? This is all great. Your Bhagavad Gita is wonderful. What if I don't do it? What will happen? That we chanted also. Bhagavan said, well, if a person who... first he tells two things. First of all, I want you to know something. There's no choice like... Star Wars took this next thing. Have you heard? There's no do or don't do. There's no try or no try. There's only do or don't do. There's no try. That's the line. You heard that? You know, like sometimes you can say, Dad, I go try. Then the Bhagavad Gita response is, do or don't do. There's no such thing as try. Meaning to say what? Bhagavan says, for someone who, like us, who has a body, there's no such thing as not doing. You are always doing something. You can't sit on the couch and say, today I'm doing nothing. Why? Because your heart will be beating, the belly will be gurgling, physiological functions will be going, you'll get thirsty, you need to use the bathroom. All that is karma. Sitting also is an ing, sitting. That's a verb, a doing, a karma. So you're never going to be free from karma. You're sending out requests to the universe to send you back results, even when you're sitting here. Everyone is a karma, and everyone has a result. So since you're always going to have to do, the question isn't do or not do. The question is what to do. You have no choice in whether you're going to practice his Bhagavad Gita or not practice his Bhagavad Gita. Like you can't get away from it. If you're not practicing Bhagavad Gita, then you're going to be doing something else, and that other thing's going to have results. You understand what I mean to say? There's no middle path. You're either on this path or you're on a different path, but you can't sit there and do nothing. So what is that other path? So Bhagavan adds this one line, which we talked about already. Yastu karma phalatyagi satyagi abhidhiyate. The person who renounces the fruits of action, he is a tyagi. That we discussed. What is that other path? That is given there in verse 12. If you choose not to be balanced, give up lower things, hold on to higher, that kind of thing. Not to be attached to the results. Keep your mind like Chandrapal where your hands are. Or play with a different scorecard like the mom with the board game at home. If you choose not to do any of that, and instead do what? Simple life. Forget about the community and family love and all that. I just have something in mind I want to go get, and I want to go get it. And then I'll have it finished. Like what they call the American dream. I am a separate being, you're a separate being. We're competing. I will get mine, you get yours. Who get? Who get? Don't get? Don't get. I mean, we call it American dream now, but in this time of Bhagavad Gita, it would have been called Kaurava dream. The dream of the Kauravas. This is what I want. I want kingdom, I want this, and who in my way? Buy them out, remove them, tariff them, whatever I have to do. I go in this way. You just tell me one thing. You're going to help me or you're going to be in my way? And tell fast. And I have no other vision of life. I want to sit there and relax. I have made it. Don't tell me about bigger and community, nothing. Simple. What happens to that person? Right? Well, he gets three types of results. He gets anishtam, ishtam, mishram. He'll get some things he likes, but he'll also get some things he doesn't like. Like, this is exactly what I wanted for my birthday. I got it. You know that feeling? It's exactly what I want. He'll get that. But he'll also get, this is not the other thing I wanted. I got something I didn't want. And he'll get some mixed things. He'll have to compromise in life. You know what is compromise? Husband and wife knows very well what is compromise. A husband was describing. Compromise is when I tell my wife to let me feel I'm right now and then. And she said, yeah. Today you can feel you're right. Thank you, you're so compromising, wife. Yeah, I know. That's called compromise. A bunch of husbands got together because they feel these wife wearing pants in their relationship and this is too much. So they had a private meeting at the mandir. Guys only. And they get in together to talk about the troubles in life. So First, one man got up and let's get it straight. Everybody who feels the wife overpowering them, you come on this side. So everybody went to that side, except one little skinny fella. So they look at him and say, what? He said, no, listen. My wife said when you ask that question, I better stay on this side. So sometimes compromise, you can't compromise. So you'll get a mixture of things like that, right? That's what the person gets. You might say, that's not so bad, but let me tell you something. Anybody is happy with a little bit of happiness? Just think about it. Gurudev summarizes this whole thing. He says, the happiness you get from living a world where you're just trying to get your stuff and fight off everybody else and all that kind of thing is like eating a sweetie with a candy wrapper on. You get a little joy, but you also get the wrapper with it. You just think now. Suppose somebody said, I love pine tart. Love it. Too bad. Every day I just eat 2 in the morning. Now you tell me, how much time will it take to eat those 2 pine tart? 5 minutes? 5 minutes maybe, right? Suppose you eat 2 pine tart a day for 5 minutes. How much joy does that add up to? 5 minutes times 365 days a year. If you work it out, it adds up to just over 1 full day of joy. That's how much it adds up to. Now the heart disease you will get as a result of that will last how long? Maybe your whole life. Now do the maths. Would you trade 5 minutes of joy every day for a year in exchange for heart disease? Is that a good trade? Who said yeah? That's called ishtam, anishtam, mishram. You get some joy, but then you also have to get some sorrow, mixed. That will be your lot. If you take this path, your lot will be mixed. If you take the other path, well, you'll get mukti. And both of you will work just as hard, like that. That's verse 12 now. See, so Lord Krishna is a great teacher, right? Then now, what will happen next? Bhagavan will launch now into an idea about the goal. He's talking about the path. He's going to launch into the goal now. But he'll have to do that tomorrow in Windsor Forest at Temple Street Temple. Right? Temple Street Temple, he'll do that at 7 p.m. So if you're interested, you please come. Right? My pranams to Panditaji for organizing this satsang and all those who worked behind the scenes to make it happen. It was wonderful being here, and you were such an attentive group. At least you were smiling, so you were making me feel nice. I felt very warm. Wonderful coming here. A few quick announcements. Chinmaya Mission all over the world is doing this type of thing, teaching scriptures and teaching for the current and the future generations in English so they can understand, right? And the way that you become qualified to teach in Chinmaya Mission is you go and you study for 2 years in an ashram, and you study every day without holidays intensely in the Sanskrit medium. And the whole of Caribbean is lucky because that course where you had to go to India to study by yourself, you had to pay your ticket and go, now is available in Trinidad. The 3rd batch of that course is happening in October. So if there is somebody who is interested in taking a deep dive and systematic study of the scriptures, studying Sanskrit, studying Sanatana Dharma, and studying the Upanishads and Vedanta and various texts and Ramayana, all that. Intense study means intense. No phone, no newspaper, no going home, no break, no holiday. Every day, classes all day from 5:30 a.m. to this time at night. Every day for 2 years. Some don't survive. But if you come out of that, then after that, you can be given a chance to teach in Chinmaya Mission and take up to this path of brahmacharya and sannyas. Or you can go back and do whatever you were doing before. So that course is available, and if you are 30 years or under, if you are unmarried and you have a university degree, a degree of any type, then you can apply for that course. And if you're allowed to go, everything in that course is sponsored. So scholarship. So that is starting in October on Gandhi Jayanti Day. And it would be wonderful for us in Guyana to get more people right from Guyana to go and study the scriptures properly. We can produce Vivekanandas, why not? Right from Guyana. But that requires the right interested person. And usually those people, you don't know who they are. You have to spread the message. And so please tell others, you don't know who that person might be, and that person can apply online. Right? So this course is called Vedanta course, and it is starting in October. Please spread the word. For those who want to study to be a Pandit, and we are teaching a Pandit course for 6 months, primarily online, with a focus on chanting all the mantras from the Vedas and Stutis and Stotrams and Puja Shlokas correctly. So that is starting in May. The information is online. You can please spread the word. Also, Chinmay Mission has a whole set of publications. It will be available to different mandars. You can please see if anything is of interest. And it was just discussed today, Chinmay Mission will be starting camps across Guyana, youth camps. Like how we did this 108 nights across Guyana, youth camps all across Guyana. So if you're interested in that type of thing, you please keep an eye out on the Facebook page. So all the programs are there. The final night of this Bhagavad Gita, the 108th night, is a public, open program happening on an open cricket ground with a tent and a big finale. And we are preparing gifts for everybody who comes for the last night. We're preparing food for everybody who comes for the last night. It's going to be on May 3rd. That's a Saturday. Saturday, May 3rd at 5 p.m. in town at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground. So it's a big, momentous event, and everybody here is invited. It will end sharp at 6:30. Food will be served, so you can make it back in time. So please, make a group and come. It will be wonderful to have everybody come for the final night. All right, so these are our announcements. Now I will... Really? You sure? But now we'll do closing comments, so pass it back for any closing comments. I'll just say a closing mantra and then we can close off. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki, Shri Satya Sanatana Dharma ki, Har Har Nama Parvati Pataye, Har Har Mahadev. Om Tat Sat.